Hogwarts is no ordinary school, no common castle perched atop some windswept hill. No, it's a stronghold of magic older than most can fathom, nestled deep in the Scottish Highlands, hidden from prying eyes by enchantments so clever even the most determined muggle would see nothing but a crumbling ruin. But to those who belong to the wizarding world, oh, it's a sight to behold. Majestic towers, enchanted windows, and staircases that seem to have a mind of their own. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry was founded in the 10th century by four of the most powerful and influential witches and wizards of the time: Godric Gryffindor, Helga Hufflepuff, Rowena Ravenclaw, and Salazar Slytherin. Their shared vision of a school where young witches and wizards could learn magic safely and openly led to the creation of an institution that would stand the test of time. However, the founding of Hogwarts was not solely the work of the founders themselves. They worked alongside a mysterious and gifted magical architect whose identity has been lost to history. This unnamed architect is credited with designing the castle's iconic structure, its intricate magical systems, and its hidden passages, including the concealed Founder's Tower. A statue of the architect stands in the front hall of Hogwarts, serving as both a tribute and a guardian. This imposing figure also conceals the entrance to the Founder's Tower, a secret chamber that is said to contain relics and records from the early days of the school. The construction of Hogwarts was an unparalleled magical feat. Using spells and enchantments, the founders and the architect created a castle that was both grand and imbued with magic. Stones were lifted and shaped effortlessly, walls fortified with enduring spells, and enchanted corridors imbued with a life of their own. The famous moving staircases, which constantly shift to confound and challenge students, were one of the many innovations brought to life through magic. These stairs are not merely architectural features, but enchanted entities that seem to have a will of their own, embodying the unpredictable nature of the magical arts. Hogwarts is a living testament to the enduring power of magic. From the enchanted ceiling of the Great Hall, which mirrors the sky above, to the ever-cleaning kitchens, magic permeates every aspect of the castle's daily life. Magical portraits of past headmasters, professors, and other notable figures not only adorn the walls but also provide advice, companionship, and even assistance in the school's operations. Even the maintenance of the castle relies on spells. Walls mend themselves when damaged, tapestries replace themselves when worn, and fires in the common rooms are kindled by unseen hands. The castle's inherent magic ensures that it remains a thriving, functional environment for its inhabitants. Hogwarts is nestled in a secluded valley in the Scottish Highlands, an area chosen for its natural beauty and isolation. The castle is surrounded by rugged mountains that create a natural barrier against the outside world. These peaks are often snow-capped in winter, adding to the school's breathtaking scenery. To the south of the main castle lies the Great Lake, a vast body of water that plays a central role in the school's geography and lore. The lake is home to a variety of magical creatures, including the giant squid and a colony of merpeople who have coexisted with the school for centuries. Students often glimpse the lake from the windows of the castle or cross it in small boats during their first year as part of their arrival tradition. The grounds also include dense forests, most notably the Forbidden Forest to the west of the castle. This ancient woodland, teeming with magical creatures and hidden dangers, is both a source of wonder and a place of caution for students and staff alike. Hogwarts' precise location is shrouded in mystery, as the school is rendered unplottable through powerful magical enchantments. This means it cannot be pinpointed on any map, protecting it from unwelcome visitors. To muggles, non-magical people, the school appears to be nothing more than an old abandoned castle surrounded by warnings of danger to deter trespassers. These protective measures ensure that the magical community remains hidden and secure from the prying eyes of the non-magical world. Magical children residing in Great Britain and Ireland are eligible to attend Hogwarts. The process begins at birth, when the enchanted quill of acceptance and book of admittance automatically record the names of every magical child in the region. This ensures that every child with magical abilities is accounted for, regardless of their family's knowledge or status within the wizarding world. When a child reaches the age of 11, an official acceptance letter is delivered via owl post. This letter provides details about the upcoming school term, including necessary supplies and instructions for reaching the school. For children who are Muggle-born or raised in non-magical households, a special messenger from the school, often a staff member, visits the family personally. This meeting serves to inform the child and their guardians about the existence of the wizarding world, the child's magical heritage, and what to expect at Hogwarts. Such visits are crucial for easing the transition into a magical life, as seen in the case of Harry Potter. From its inception, Hogwarts was designed to be not only a center of magical learning, but also a sanctuary. Its founders, Godric Gryffindor, Helga Hufflepuff, Rowena Ravenclaw, and Salazar Slytherin, imbued the castle with protective enchantments so potent and layered that they endured for centuries. These defenses made Hogwarts one of the safest places in the wizarding world, which in turn made it a natural repository for magical artifacts, dangerous creatures, and potent knowledge too perilous to be left unguarded elsewhere. Over the centuries, Hogwarts accumulated a collection of such burdens, from cursed objects to ancient spells, many of which were hidden within its labyrinthine halls, secret chambers, and forgotten vaults. While this enhanced the castle's mystique, it also presented risks. Several headmasters and faculty members grew increasingly uneasy about this dual role of the school, recognizing that safeguarding such items could compromise the security of its students and staff. As Nearly Headless Nick observed, Hogwarts bore this burden remarkably well, with the castle's magical defenses and the vigilance of its leadership keeping threats at bay. Yet, he acknowledged that the presence of such artifacts and mysteries occasionally attracted unwanted attention and even posed internal dangers. Over time, both the faculty and headmasters wrestled with this responsibility, understanding its necessity, but also fearing the consequences of a breach. One of the most infamous examples of this danger was the existence of the Chamber of Secrets, a hidden lair created by Salazar Slytherin. Despite being forgotten by most, its legend and the monster within nearly led to disaster when rediscovered centuries later. Such incidents underscored the precarious balance Hogwarts maintained as both a haven and a repository of perilous magic. During Harry Potter's private lessons with Albus Dumbledore, the headmaster echoed this historical truth, describing Hogwarts as a stronghold of ancient magic. Dumbledore had a profound understanding of the castle's magical foundations, recognizing that it housed powers and secrets that even the most learned witches and wizards could scarcely comprehend. He saw the castle as more than a school. It was a living entity, imbued with magic so old and deep that it could not easily be unraveled or controlled. Dumbledore's wisdom also informed his decisions regarding who could access Hogwarts. He famously denied Tom Riddle, later known as Lord Voldemort, a teaching position at the school. While his reasoning was multifaceted, Dumbledore admitted to Harry that part of his refusal stemmed from the suspicion that Voldemort sought to exploit the castle's untapped reserves of ancient magic for his own nefarious purposes. Dumbledore feared that the Dark Wizard's ambitions extended beyond simply teaching. He believed Voldemort desired to unlock the secrets of Hogwarts and use them to strengthen his power and dominance over the wizarding world. The Triwizard Tournament, one of the most celebrated events in the history of the wizarding world, was established approximately 300 years after the founding of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. It was created as a means of fostering cooperation and friendly rivalry among the three premier magical schools of Europe: Hogwarts, Beauxbatons Academy of Magic, and Durmstrang Institute. Each school took turns hosting the event, showcasing the distinct magical traditions and cultures of their respective regions. The tournament was conceived by the magical communities of the three nations as a way to promote unity in a time when divisions and rivalries among wizarding factions were common. The founders of the event hoped to encourage greater understanding and respect among witches and wizards from different parts of Europe through a shared celebration of magical skill and bravery. The first tournament was held at Hogwarts, where it was received with great enthusiasm. It immediately gained popularity as a spectacle of incredible magical feats, challenging tasks, and unparalleled displays of courage and intellect. The event quickly became a recurring tradition, held roughly every 5 years, though scheduling often varied, depending on the political and magical climate of the era. The Triwizard Tournament consisted of 3 perilous tasks designed to test the champion's intelligence, courage, resilience, and magical abilities. Each school selected a single champion to represent them, chosen through a magical object called the Goblet of Fire. This enchanted artifact judged the worthiness of the candidates, ensuring that only the most skilled and determined students were chosen. The tasks themselves varied from tournament to tournament, often drawing inspiration from the host school's traditions and surroundings. Common themes included solving magical riddles, combating dangerous creatures, navigating enchanted mazes, or retrieving valuable artifacts from treacherous locations. Each task was designed to challenge not only the champion's magic, but also their resourcefulness and character. Winning the Triwizard Tournament was one of the highest honors a young witch or wizard could achieve. Champions brought glory to their schools and were often celebrated as heroes in the wizarding world. The event also strengthened ties among magical institutions as students, staff, and spectators from across Europe came together to witness the competition. However, The tournament was fraught with danger from the very beginning. Injuries were common, and fatalities were not unheard of, as the challenges were often life-threatening. Despite numerous attempts by magical authorities to regulate the tasks and improve safety measures, the inherent risks of the competition remained a significant concern. For 6 centuries, the Tri-Wizard tournament was a beloved tradition. However, as the competition grew increasingly perilous, with fatalities becoming more frequent, concerns about its safety began to overshadow its celebratory spirit. By the 18th century, after a series of particularly tragic tournaments where champions and even spectators lost their lives, the event was officially discontinued. It was deemed too dangerous to continue, and magical governments across Europe agreed that the risks outweighed the benefits. Efforts were made to revive the tournament over the years, with various magical organizations attempting to implement stricter rules and enhanced safety measures. However, these attempts were largely unsuccessful, and the tournament remained dormant for over a century. As Gellert Grindelwald's influence spread across Europe during the early 20th century, the growing threat of the Dark Wizard and his followers caused widespread fear and unrest within the magical community. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, though isolated and protected in the Scottish Highlands, was not immune to these anxieties. Under the leadership of headmaster Armando Dippet, Hogwarts took significant measures to safeguard its students, faculty, and grounds as tensions escalated into what became known as the Global Wizarding War. As the headmaster of Hogwarts during this tumultuous time, Armando Dippet faced immense pressure to address these fears while maintaining the school's legacy as a place of learning and safety. When Grindelwald's reach grew more aggressive in the late 1920s and early 1930s, Dippet convened an emergency meeting with concerned parents in the Great Hall. Some families, especially those of younger students, opted to withdraw their children from the school early, returning them home to minimize perceived risks. Dippet remained steadfast in his belief that Hogwarts should remain open, describing it as a beacon of stability and strength for the wizarding world during troubled times. He argued that Grindelwald's ideology sought to divide magical society and disrupt its institutions. Closing Hogwarts, he asserted, would represent a victory for the Dark Wizard. During this time, Albus Dumbledore began to rise to prominence. Though he was not yet headmaster, Dumbledore's presence at Hogwarts offered reassurance to many students and staff alike. A formidable wizard and one of the few who could rival Grindelwald, Dumbledore quietly worked behind the scenes to monitor the war's progress and protect the castle. His eventual duel with Grindelwald in 1945, which brought an end to the Dark Wizard's reign, became a defining moment in wizarding history. The Chamber of Secrets was a hidden lair within Hogwarts, constructed by Salazar Slytherin during the founding years of the school. According to legend, Slytherin, one of the 4 founders, had a falling out with the others over his belief that magical education should be reserved for pure-blood witches and wizards. Before departing Hogwarts, Slytherin allegedly created the chamber and concealed within it a monster, the Basilisk, a creature that only the true heir of Slytherin could command. The Basilisk's purpose was to purge the school of Muggle-born students, whom Slytherin deemed unworthy of magical blood. By the 20th century, most believed the Chamber of Secrets to be a mere myth, as it had remained sealed for centuries, However, in 1942, during Tom Riddle's 5th year at Hogwarts, the myth became reality. Riddle, a brilliant but deeply troubled student, discovered the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets hidden in a disused girl's bathroom. As a direct descendant of Salazar Slytherin through his mother, Merope Gaunt, Riddle alone possessed the ability to open the chamber and control the basilisk using Parseltongue, the language of snakes. Once the chamber was opened, the basilisk began to roam the castle, targeting students who were Muggle-born. Though its gaze was deadly, none of the initial victims were killed outright. Instead, they were petrified when glimpsing the basilisk indirectly, through reflections, water, or ghostly forms. However, the situation escalated in 1943, when the basilisk encountered a young Ravenclaw student named Myrtle Warren in the bathroom, where the chamber entrance lay hidden. Myrtle, who was crying in a bathroom stall at the time, looked directly into the basilisk's eyes and was killed instantly. Her sudden and violent death marked a turning point in the crisis. Myrtle's death caused panic to spread throughout the school. The Ministry of Magic became heavily involved, and rumors of a monster in Hogwarts began to circulate in the magical community. Parents, fearing for the safety of their children, pressured the ministry to close the school, believing it unsafe. At the time, Hogwarts headmaster Armando Dippet struggled to contain the crisis. The possibility of the school's permanent closure loomed large. While most students and faculty were horrified by the unfolding events, Tom Riddle harbored a personal reason for wanting the school to remain open. During holidays, Riddle was forced to return to Wool's orphanage, a grim Muggle institution where he had grown up unloved and neglected. Hogwarts had become his true home, a sanctuary where he was valued for his magical prowess, and where he had begun building his carefully cultivated persona of charm and talent. The thought of Hogwarts closing and being sent back to the orphanage was unbearable to him. In a rare show of vulnerability, Riddle approached Headmaster Dippet and requested permission to remain at Hogwarts over the summer holidays. He claimed that the orphanage was an unfit place for him to live. However, Dippet, unaware that Riddle himself was behind the attacks, denied the request, citing the ongoing crisis and the school's uncertain future. Riddle's failure to secure a summer stay compounded his anger and frustration. Knowing that Hogwarts would not survive another attack, he decided to take decisive action to frame Rubeus Hagrid for the events. For Hogwarts, the first opening of the chamber represented a period of fear and uncertainty, where the castle's reputation as a safe haven for magical children was deeply shaken. The crisis tested the leadership of its staff and revealed the darkness that could exist within even its most gifted students. Myrtle Warren, who remained in the bathroom as a ghost, later known as Moaning Myrtle, became a haunting reminder of the tragedy. The secret of the Chamber of Secrets would lay dormant for decades. The Triwizard Tournament was eventually revived in 1994 under the leadership of Albus Dumbledore, then headmaster of Hogwarts, with the goal of restoring its original purpose, to unite the wizarding schools of Europe and celebrate magical excellence. The Ministry of Magic, alongside the ministries of France and Northern Europe, implemented numerous new safety protocols to minimize the dangers of the task. Despite these precautions, the tournament's revival was marred by tragedy. During the final task, Lord Voldemort manipulated the competition to orchestrate his return to power. The death of Cedric Diggory, one of Hogwarts' champions, cast a shadow over the event, reigniting debates about whether the tournament should continue. Thank you for joining me on this quick look at the history of Hogwarts. I hope you'll join me again in the next video. Please leave a comment if there are any stories you'd like me to read. Thank you and good night.